We are living in a very different world, and obviously it's unprecedented in the scope and probably the rate of change in terms of information becoming available, the flood of information that's available. And I think in our organisation, sometimes it's hard even just to work out what's real and what's not in all of that flood of information. So my role as the team doctor here is not only to be the first point of call for our players, but also to try and do a lot of that sifting and summarising so that we can stay abreast of the information and the requirements we have both to fulfil our role as citizens and to try and maintain our role as rugby players. We're really hoping that we will be able to resurrect some form of an adapted competition. We're trying to keep training. To do that means having our Brumbies family here together. And for some of these players, they probably spend more time with their Brumbies family than with their own households. So that means we've got to look after them in this place, which means we're doing all that we can to maintain our hygiene standards. We're doing things every day, throughout the day, and encouraging our households at home beyond the playing group to do the same. So as everybody in the community is being instructed, we're using hand sanitizer where we can't frequently wash hands, practicing good cough etiquette, ideally using tissues or paper towel and tossing them, but definitely coughing into elbows, not into hands. And we're, wherever possible, even in our sports context, maintaining a degree of social distancing. But we also play a contact sport, and so we've got to be aware that that has its own risks. To further minimise risk, we're taking daily temperatures and recording those, and any player that's found to have a fever would be sent home pending further assessment. And we've asked anybody in the organisation that's involved at the moment not to come in if they have any sort of respiratory symptoms, a fever, runny nose, cough, etc. So our high performance unit is pretty isolated in the building at the moment, with only a few other extra essential staff keeping the organisation ticking over. Hard in a rugby context. Can you do more as a society? Yeah, minimise your contact with other people, think about your fellow man, and practice all those simple steps.